So I'm just going to continue on with my Solid Records logo. So I made it here, as you saw in the previous video, Solid Records Part 2, I think it was called. So I've just copied it across here. Now I've already made my final one, but I jumped ahead there, and I just thought I'd jump back and take you through a bit more of the process. And I want to show you that once you have your logo made, how quickly things go from there on, okay? So I'm going to select, now you see what I'm doing there is, I'll zoom in on it, right? So if I select a part of each of the letters of Solid and then change it, and then I'm going to highlight the O and change that as well, then I've got another color variation on it. I select all of these, just getting a bit of each one. The same orange for that. And I'm just trying these out in different color combinations. So I'm kind of limited by this particular palette of colors here, so I want something a bit more vibrant. So I'm going to go in here, get rid of some of these first actually. Oh, it's just an email coming in, sorry. I'm just going to get rid of brushes there for a second. And I've got my swatches here, so I'm going to put that in the same folder as that one. And now I'm going to say Open Swatch Library, and I want, let me see, there's color books in there, they're more printing industry kind of related. Foods, gradients. Okay, there's lots of them, but let's go to foods, and let's choose sweets, because I want this kind of vibrant selection of colors, and that's you can see there. Okay, so I'm going to select this chunk here, and I'm going to give it this green. Sorry, I selected too much there. Give it that green. Highlight the O, give it the green. And now I'm going to take, you can see there, if I just get a bit of each letter, then I'll get all of them. And I'm just trying these out really quick. You know, I'm not assuming that everything I try is going to be a winner, but I just want to try, see what they look like. Now I'm just going to do this last one here on this column. Let's go with this very vibrant red. And there it is. Okay, so let's assume I've done both pages there, right? I'm going to zoom out a bit. I'm going to get rid of this for the moment. And I'm going to take this as my final logo, this red here. So I'm going to say Alt and drag up here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a little color reference here for you know, a printer. So I'm just going to draw a square. Now it's copying in the color I already had, but if I want to be absolutely sure of it, what I can do is I can use the eyedropper, click on this, and there it is. And there's my values, 0, 100, 100, 0. These are for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a text box beside it. So a 0, 100, 100, 0. So I'm just going to go C, 0, M, 100. Yellow, sorry, capital yellow, 100, and B was 0. So that's if a printer wanted to make the exact color again, that would be the information they would need for that. Okay, so that's my final logo. Then I made a copy of it, and I did the final logo in black and white. Then I made a copy of it and made it in reverse black and white against the black background. So now what's next is I'm going to start making my objects. So first thing is I'm going to make the page, the letterhead. So it's going to draw a box any size. I'm going to tell that to be A4. And I'm going to OK it and just drag it into position. And I'm going to take this Solid Records and I'm going to group that. So I can right click and group. And I'm going to Alt drag that over here. And I'm just going to scale it to where I think it should be on the label there. Now, one thing I would recommend is I'm going to undo that scaling, and so I've got this object. So like you can see there, scales, strokes, and effects are on. Make sure that's on, because if I had an outline of this and this wasn't on, when I scale it down, the outline wouldn't scale with it. It would stay the same thickness, and as the object got smaller, it would look like the outline is getting bigger. It wouldn't be, it'd just be staying the same size, but because the object's getting smaller, that's where the problems come in. So I want to scale this. It doesn't have an outline, but I just think it's always better to scale it as if it does. So I'm going to go, yeah. So what I sometimes do is I'll take it right into the corner. So it's touching both sides, and I'm just going to go Shift and my cursor key to the right, Shift my cursor key to the left. So that means it is the same distance from top to bottom as it is left to right. Now I'm going to put in some text over here. I am going to line that text up to the right. And it doesn't matter what it says. I am just make sure that 11 points is probably a better size for this kind of thing. And I'm going to leave that there. And now I'm going to draw another piece of text down across the length of the bottom of the screen. I'll center it now in a second. But this one, I'm going to center that piece of text. And what I might do is I might take the eyedropper and sample the red from there. So my text at the bottom is, you can see that pink line tells me it's centered. So there's my Solid Records headed paper that they use. So this is probably address and contact info, and this is probably just legal stuff. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to drop down the spacing between the lines. That won't be too bad. And I'm just going to use my arrow keys to nudge it down a bit, just so it's a bit closer to the bottom. Then what I could do is, with black selected, I'm just going to draw in text box. It'll fill it with dummy text. I'm just going to line that to the left. Put in a couple of paragraph breaks. And maybe I'll just get rid of that bit at the end. This is really just for effect more than anything else. And then, I don't know, just to give it a bit of shape. Sincerely. Okay, so there's my letterhead. Spaced out, looks fine to me. And yeah, that's it. Okay, next up is my business card. So I'm going to choose my artboard, draw a box. Now, at the moment it's set to millimeters. Now, I know what the dimensions are. They are 76.2, 88.3 millimeters wide by 50.8 high. But let's, I'm going to cancel that because I want to go back in and say preferences. Now, if you're on a PC, your preferences are in the edit menu, I think down at the bottom, but on a Mac, they're up here. I'm going to go to units, and I'm going to change that to inches. Okay it. And now I'm just going to press enter again. And now I'm going to say 3.5 by 2. And there's my business card. I'm just going to drag it up there to keep everything neat. I'm going to drag another copy down below it. One's going to be the front and one's going to be the back. So I'm just going to grab my group, Alt and drag to here. So you can see there that that's lined up in the middle of the page. So if I hold the Shift key and the Alt key together, they will scale up from the center. So that's one side of my business card. I'm going to take this piece of text here. I'm going to drag it in. Highlight all of that. I'm going to center it. And I'm going to say, Will McDermott, CEO, why not? Phone number 087 123 4567. And it's going to be wmcd@solidworks.com. And what I might do is I'll just highlight that info. I'll use my eyedropper, grab the red, just so as it's in keeping. So I might choose that object there. Normally what I would have is an align option. I'm going to go to Window and Align, and it brings this up here. So all right, so I'm going to tell it to align itself to the artboard, right? So I'm going to say center on the artboard, center on the artboard. Same with this one. I'm going to say center on the artboard, center. That's my business card done. Next step was a banner. So let's go to, let us find out what, let's say Instagram banner size. 420 by 654. 420 by 654 pixels. Okay, I'm going to go to my preferences and units, and I'm going to set that to pixels. And let's set one last check what it was, 420 by 654. So artboard, there. Let's give myself some space, press enter. So it was 420 by 654. Okay. So sorry, back to my artboard. I just want to move it. I like to keep things neat. So solid records, I'm going to bring that in, copy that across. I'm going to scale it. And now I just have to figure out what else I want to put in this Instagram banner. Do I want to put in text about what we do? You know, say for argument's sake, we record, we release, we distribute, we promote. So let's say I'm going to put that info in. Record, releasing, oops, sorry, capitals. God, I'm having trouble spelling things. Releasing, distributing, promoting. My God, it's falling apart here. Okay, so let's just take these 4 things for a moment. I am going to line them up. I'll leave them centered. Make them a lot bigger. And you can see where I had my line spacing here earlier on. Just going to bring that back to automatic, and it'll do it proportionally. But don't worry about this. I'm just going to now get the text box. Open that up a little bit. And again, I can align that by centering it. I'm going to use the color from the text here. And this stuff, I'm going to tell it to be, I'm going to go for a different font here. I'm going to go for, that's actually quite nice, but I'm going to go for Arial, if I can find it. Arial black. Now I might have other information in there as well, or background color or something. So let's choose a shape. And let's make that. Now what I could, in theory, what I could do is I could ungroup this. Arrange, sorry, ungroup. And I could choose this. And then the text here could all go to blue. Except for that O that would stay red. Now the problem I've got here is trying to get to that circle at the back there. So I'm going to choose this, and I'm going to say use my shift key and my right arrow key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, 14. I'm going to choose this blue and this, and I'm going to go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, highlight that. Oh, eyedropper, sample that red. And that might be how I do my banner. You can put in whatever you need to in there. So the last thing was promotional items. So let's go with another artboard. Draw a box, press enter, tell it to be A4. Okay, that. Oh, wrong way. Press it again. This time I want it to be tall rather than wide. But that's not A4. But because I'm still in artboard mode, oh, it is A4. It's just that this is a banner. Okay, so okay that. Press selection tool to come out of it, and now I'm just going to go back in here, and I'm going to choose, let's say promotional, say record bag, because it's a record company. Let's have a look at these. I'm going to type in blank. I want something a bit more straight on. Okay, let's go with tote bag. Tote bags are given out with promotion quite a bit, so let's go with this one. I'm going to copy that back in here. Go to paste it in, Command V. Oops, Command V. Yeah, there we go. I just made to it a bit. Okay, so let's take this one, scale it down. And I'm going to get my solid records, drag it across, and bring that to the front. Okay. So I wouldn't worry about the O's, and at the moment they would be see-through, and you could see through to the back of it. But I could do that. Let's try that. I'm going to ungroup that. Ungroup. As before, I'm going to move this out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these, and then I'm going to hold Shift key to unselect the bag, basically. And I'm just going to go to my shape builder and cut those out. And now I'm going to go back to this. That was 23, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And that's back to where it was. So I'm going to select all of these again. Now selected the bag, I'm going to shift and select the bag to deselect it, and I'm going to group those one more time. Okay, so let's take both of these, scale it down a bit, and let's get promo t-shirt, promo t-shirt, and promotional. All right, so let's go with oh, don't want that. Let's take that one, copy the image, paste it in, scale it down. just going to make it the same width as the bag just for pretty much for convenience. Last thing, I'm going to go with a water bottle. And we'll just get something like this. Now I can also go Object, Crop Image, and I can just press Enter. Put that up there like that, nice and big. Copy my logo, Alt and drag. Arrange, bring to the front. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put it that way. So let's zoom out. So my logo, my color experiments, my final logo, the objects. Now I know in a previous one I did a lot more color examples, but if this is your final object or your logo and you want to experiment with just the colors, you don't have to reverse them, you don't have to, in theory what you could do is you could, let's say for argument's sake, if you ever had to print on something red, you might want an alternative color to go with that. So I'm going to take this one, I'm going to say drag that down to here, and I'm going to take this, Alt and drag, and I'm going to call this one alternate color. It's basically, I guess it's the equivalent of, an away kit in football. If you don't want to clash with the other team, you have an alternate kit. So I'm going to take both of these, and Alt and drag these down here, and this one, I can see it's 100% cyan. That's all it is. So here, I am going to take this, eyedropper it against that blue, and in here, I'm going to change cyan to 100, and these all to 0 for printer reference. Oh, yeah, that's fine. So I have an alternate color version there if I need it. But that's everything. That's it. But like I say, once you get the logo made and settled on, everything else happens quite quickly. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.